Here's a greenhouse tour, August of 2017. We'll start just as you walk into the greenhouse. There's most of my Sarracenia and temperate collection. There's no misting on this side because obviously they don't like the extra humidity. And even in this greenhouse, the humidity is a little too high. Some interesting stuff here. This is a Morii Phil's clone number 2. There's a Dana's Delight right behind it. Has some beautiful color. This is a hybrid with a Leucophila pale traps. Then just behind it is Wilkerson White Knight. That really tall Leucophila is Titan or Kronos, I believe they call it now. Just before the fall pictures start. It's a huge plant. Little one down here, that's Red Viper. Adrian Slack, Hummer's Hammerhead, of course. Then we'll go around to the other side. A couple pygmy sundews here. This is Dan Winter, a nice Morii clone. Gets very red in the fall. Some more interesting stuff here. This is a nice hybrid between Reptilian Rose and I believe a Red Flava. A couple interesting stuff back there. Go to this side, and there's a beautiful bronze crossed with copper Flava. A few of the small minor clones. There's Purpurea. And a couple more pygmy sundews here. They don't look their best this time of year, but it's not too bad. And Capensis, of course. And a couple seedlings here. I think those are about 1.5 years old now. Wilkerson White Knight crossed with Hurricane Creek White. And a couple new arrivals there. This is a pretty good size Regula Cantata. Then over here we have a Flava red tube crossed with a lot of black tube. This is, I believe, from the same cross that Black Widow came from. You can also see some Leah Wilkerson, Andrea Slack there. Then down this way, just a few other smaller plants. And nice clump of fly traps there. I don't think that's any particular variety. I believe what I call the Dan Winter clone. They were cold hardy outdoors in Colorado. And a couple interesting things on this side. Some nice color there. This minor is Phil's giant clone. Just a huge plant. Just love it. And right behind it is Black Widow. As you can see, it's super dark. Some more there. And we'll look back to this side and you can see what we just came through. A couple more pygmies there, some seedlings. And then here, there's a pretty good size Regula Cantata that basically hits the top of this greenhouse. I've had it since July of 2006. And then there's also Gorgonius right behind it. A couple more Sarracenia here. They're kind of just in between their spring and fall pictures, so haven't cleaned them up yet, but they still look pretty good. Some nice Leucophila that will be beautiful this fall. There's a really nice hybrid, I believe it's Wilkerson crossed with Prince of Darkness. And we'll go to the other side here. Just a nice clump of fly traps. These are all the Dan Winter clone, which is a nice hardy variety. And some Leucophila. A whole bunch of just miscellaneous plants here. I see a black and red fish and fledgling in the corner there. we'll head back this way. Okay, looks like some more fly traps. Sarracenia, of course. There's a really nice German dentata clone. A little bit more sawtooth than the standard dentata. And then these are all Dichotoma giant. Really nice clumps of them there. Back in this corner are the tuberous sundews, so of course they're still asleep this time of year. I'll repot them and start watering here in the next couple weeks. And some more fly traps, more Sarracenia. This is where I usually do like repotting right here and kind of my work area. And this is another nice bench of Sarracenia. That huge one in the center is Sarraceniasaurus, one of the most famous and sought-after Sarracenia right now. And as you can see, it's dark and stands head and shoulders above everything else on the bench here. A couple interesting ones. Here's a Simon. Has a really interesting color on that side of it and has almost a fuzzy picture. And just a few other, I think this is one of Phil's Morii, one of the like super red clones. And again, just back this way, more Sarracenia of all different varieties. And nice Leucophila clone there. And this is a nice red batch. These are mostly Leucophilas crossed with Purpureas or crossed back with Leucophila. This is one that Phil calls Potty Mouth. Just a huge plant. Great color. Kind of in between its summer and fall traps right now. A couple different Purpurea there. And more Leucophila that all look pretty nice, even though it's still a touch early for them to be looking their best here. Okay, and then we'll head back out this way. There's a really nice fly trap here. This one's called Low Giant. As you can see, it's about as full as it could possibly get in a pot that size. I think that's a 5-inch pot. There's a nice clone of Capensis. Now just yesterday I actually overtook a friend's collection who was having some health problems, so agreed to take them on for a little while. So need to get these all labeled and interspersed throughout the greenhouse. And started to run out of space, but I'm sure I'll have room. So some seedlings here, a whole bunch of different varieties. That beautiful plant in there is Nepenthes Leviathan, my first ever Raja cross. It's Raja crossed with Peltata, and oh my goodness, they just have some spectacular traps on them. And we'll go back this way, a few more seedlings. Sometimes cover the fresh seedlings with these domes here, just to give them a little extra protection. This big plant you see here is Veitchii. This is the Cal State Fullerton clone here. And behind it you see a Veitchii crossed with Bachiana. A lot of nice colorful pictures on this side here. That one's a really nice Truncata crossed with Lowii. Forget which variety it is, but I think it's a large one, that's for sure. Then down here, this is an Ovada crossed with Truncata. Beautiful color. And then one of my favorite Nepenthes succubus here. And a few more stuff on this side. This is the Red Queen tibiae. Platykyla you see right there. That one is a really old clone of Maxima crossed with Trusmatiensis. I believe it's originally from Phil Mann. And a couple other interesting things in the corner here. There's a nice little Velosa. And in flower, this is all a hybrid between Humboldtii and Alpina. There are some interesting Veitchii crossed with Ventricosas. That one's a predator you see in there. This is the porcelain form of Ventricosa that is by far my favorite variety of Ventricosa. Some really nice sized pictures. That one came from, I believe, Longwood Gardens originally. And some interesting things down on this side. Lots of nice sphagnum moss. And we'll go look back over here. That was an H.R. Geiger. It's a Spectabilis crossed with Lowii. Beautiful plant. A couple cuttings here. There's a Burbigia crossed with Veitchii, I believe. Okay, then we'll come over to the other side. This is Porcellania, a Leilani Burbigia crossed with Veitchii. It just almost glows. Its pictures are so light in color. I just love the contrast with most things having such a red color. Moving down here. Now this is my largest Lowii crossed with Truncata here. They have some pretty good sized pictures. But then it's nothing compared to the Truncata crossed with the Fiffiata right behind it. This is just a beast. These leaves are probably close to 3 feet, almost 1 meter in length, growing up there. Look this way. This is an interesting Jacquelinia Ime crossed with Izumie, I believe. And over this way, another nice tibia. And up into the rafters there, you'll see some Veitchii, Merliana crossed with Lowii, a whole bunch of other things. And we'll head over this way. And off in the distance you can see my all-time favorite plant, Nepenthes Raja. This picture just opened and it's looking pretty good. Usually I have about 1 open pitcher per growing point, but this growing point is starting to vine. Just behind it you'll see a nice size Lowii. In front you'll see some Hamada, a couple Velosa, there's a Jacquelinia right there, and a whole bunch of interesting things up in the rafters as well. And you'll see my swamp coolers on each side here, along with a couple Heliumphora and Nepenthes seedlings. There's a few Heliumphora, some Cephalotus here. And back this way, another nice corner of things. There's another Lowii Truncata. Here's my biggest open pitcher right now. This is the hybrid between Truncata and a Fiffiata, of course. And I haven't measured it, but it is absolutely massive. I have pretty good size hands, and the lid is basically the same size as them. There's some more benches with just various other things on it. Really nice Rob Cantley clone right here. This is one of my first Rob Cantley I got from Tony Parobek years ago now. Really good sized peristome and about as dark as they come. There's another Rob Cantley. Just as nice, honestly. Oh, and that one's coming into flower. Looks to be a male. And then we'll cross over here, get a closer look at the Raja over this way. Need to trim off some of the old and dead pictures, but it's just a beautiful plant. Just love that color. And we'll go up there, and you see there's a nice lowii hanging off it right there. And right next to it is Trusmatiensis, another really good size plant. A couple Utricularia up in the rafters here. There's a Barbigia there. And this is another Velosa, along with this was Wistuba's Macrophylla. Really nice yellow-orange color to it. And this way, there's the Veitchii crossed with Aimee. And there's another lowii hybrid intermixed with it. Another pretty good sized Raja here. And this is a Ramaspina. Nice dark pictures with almost a black color to them. And there is about the extent of it. If you guys want to see anything else in particular, let me know. But this is my little slice of paradise. Over and out.